Hey guys, it's Sammy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Girl on the Train book versus movie kind of review, me analyzing the book versus the movie and the differences they made and if I like them or if I didn't. So this is going to be kind of short. I know this movie came out a little while ago, but I just saw it, so I just wanted to discuss real quickly because I loved this book last year. I gave it 5 stars, but it didn't make it up on my favorites list just because I didn't feel like it fit there. I really thought it was good, but it wasn't like one of my favorite books of all time. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it real quick for you guys. So starting off, I will talk a little bit about what I thought of the book. I really enjoyed the book. I thought it was a really good thriller. It was a little off at times. If you don't know, this book does deal with alcoholism and domestic violence. So if you're trying to stray away from that, I would not recommend this book. But I thought it was a pretty good thriller novel. It wasn't as thrillery as I would have liked. It was more of like mental, like you don't know what's going on because the narrator is unreliable, so you're not entirely sure if what she's saying is true and you just never really know. But in the end, I really enjoy this. I like the plot build up, even though I did figure out like the mystery, the mystery halfway through. I kind of like figured it out in my mind. I was like, well, this is probably what it's going to be. But regardless, I would recommend this book to anyone who enjoys adult thrillers. So now on to the movie. Okay, so let's start off with the movie. Overall, I didn't love the movie. There was a few good things about it, but there was a lot of things that I just didn't enjoy about it. First and foremost, it was way over sexualized. There was way too many sex scenes and it was almost uncomfortable, and I was like, there was literally one sex scene in the book and they cut it out completely. They cut it out completely from the movie, and I was just like, so you're gonna put in all these unnecessary sex scenes, but you're gonna leave out the one that was actually in the book. Okay, I mean, sure, that makes sense, but that was one of the things that really bothered me because I just thought it wasn't really necessary. I think they were trying to appeal to like the people that like the books, like there's 50 Shades of Grey, where it's over like so like hot and steamy and all the time, but really this was supposed to be a thriller, but it really wasn't. So another thing was the movie wasn't really a thriller. It came off more of just like a mystery sort of thing with a lot of other underlying plot points, which was kind of what the book was like, but I didn't like it as much. I just thought it didn't really have the build up, and it was a lot more predictable in the movie. At least I thought. My dad figured out who the like murderer was within like the first like 30 minutes of it. He was like, okay, well, it's not this person, this murderer, and he figured it out. So that wasn't too great. Another thing that I didn't really like was I don't know what it was. I didn't really like the cinematography in this. I don't know. It just seemed off. Like it was really choppy and weird, and I just wasn't a super big fan of it, but that's totally a personal preference and really has nothing to do with the quality of the movie. That's just like what I personally thought about it. So to each their own on that one, at least. Okay, so enough being negative. Let's talk about the things that I did like about the movie. The one major thing I loved about this movie, and somebody brought it to my attention further, but in the books, Rachel figures out about the domestic abuse she is receiving from her husband through just her realizing and having memory. But in the movie, her ex-husband's boss's wife actually lets her know that she never did any of the crazy stuff that Rachel's husband told her she did. First, it shows Rachel throwing plates and making a complete mess of this party, and the boss and his wife kicking her out of the party, and then her husband getting fired because of that. But then fast forward in the movie, and she actually learns from the boss's wife that she never did any of that stuff. She got a little sick, they put her down in their guest bedroom, and then her husband took her home eventually, and he was getting fired because he was sleeping around with all the people in the office. Rachel wasn't the reason at all that he got fired, and it was just that kind of mental and physical abuse that was just so shocking to me, and I loved how it was revealed through it. Another one was able to be straight up with Rachel and tell her that her husband was an asshole and he was abusing her, and she had no idea because she was an alcoholic. And it was so telling, and I thought it was a really great way to do that in the movie, so 100% props to them because I thought that was a great change. I know I said earlier that I didn't really like cinematography, but I liked how they cut up the plot through all the three different women's point of views. I thought it was done well enough, and I like that they introduced the two sub-characters in the very beginning, so it was easier for an audience to understand if they'd never read the book. Another minor complaint is I didn't really like Megan's character. I didn't really like her in the book either, but I think the movie made her particularly unlikable. She was just really, like, not a great person, and I know that was kind of like the point of it, but she was just not my, like, I don't know. I didn't like watching her parts because they made me highly uncomfortable. But yeah, that was just me. Another minor complaint is I didn't really like Scott's like the actor that played Scott. I didn't think he looked like a Scott, and he was kind of old and scary and had a mustache, and I wasn't feeling it. So that was another minor complaint. Obviously, once again, very personal opinion. Not really have anything to do with the plot or the quality of the movie. Okay guys, so that's basically it. Overall, I would give the movie like a 3.5 stars out of 5. It wasn't bad. If you enjoyed the book, I'd recommend watching the movie. I don't think it was a complete washout. I don't think it was terrible. It just wasn't my favorite. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, my social media links are down below that you guys can check out. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!